Welcome back to Click Talk, where we're discussing AEC pain points. We just talked about the app stack. Now we're going to talk about massive project files. And once again, we're talking about our problem child, Revit. If you are in an architectural firm, engineering, construction, you know Revit files are huge. They don't just take up resources on the workstations like we just talked about. They also take up space on your server. The access can be slow within your network, and then that is even doubled if you have folks at a job site who need to access those same project files. That bottleneck is doubled, and performance slows down. People are frustrated. It's a real tangible pain point that everyone experiences. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the architecture. Some folks may have an on-prem server, right? So that's kind of is the genesis of where these problems starts. Why don't you talk us through on-prem, and then we'll talk about even if you're in the cloud, you have this issue. We have some ideas about that. Why don't you talk about on-prem?
Yeah, so the challenge we're seeing with on-prem, like Avi was saying, the files are just getting bigger and bigger, necessitating the need for more and more hardware to store. And that's just one aspect of it, just your day-to-day storage. But you got to back it up. You got to send it off-site. So all of those things really add up to the cost of having on-premise servers. At RightClick, what we've been really working for our engineering customers or our AEC customers is moving their file server to the cloud, getting rid of that kind of always chasing, like, I need more space, because in the cloud, it's essentially in unlimited space. That's really been a push, but the benefit of moving to the cloud is you are not constrained by VPNs or people remoting into computers. You can enable that hybrid workforce. We've seen where customers are offshoring some of their drafting, so they can almost have a 24/7 operation. They also are, people work from home 2 days a week, people work in the office 3 days a week. It really enables that, so they have very seamless access to their files. It's the same experience in the office as they have at home or internationally. And then the biggest benefit is construction sites aren't known for great internet connectivity. If you're on a 4G, 5G connection and you want to get updates from the construction site, or the person at the construction site wants to see the plans to get more specificity on resolving an issue, they can easily pull up things that are on the cloud from their phone, their tablet, or even their computer.
Yeah, awesome. So move to the cloud. That should not be a new message you guys are hearing. It should be a very familiar refrain. It's probably in the back of your head a lot. Now, I think one of the things that our experience has taught us is a lot of times we move to the cloud, we are thinking, oh, we're using Microsoft for emails, we're using it for Teams. When we move to the cloud, let's just move to SharePoint. Now, SharePoint is a great solution. However, for AEC clients, SharePoint may not be the best solution, particularly when we talk about Revit, those large files. So what's your thoughts on a good solution for a cloud file server?
Yeah, so we recommend Ignite. It's purpose-built. 50% of their business comes from AEC companies. So a lot of the issues where you need file locking or the ability to handle very large files or handle it over slow internet connections or a large volume of files, because SharePoint, once you're above 100, 200,000 files, it starts having problems syncing, OneDrive issues. But with Ignite, we have it where it can handle 1 million files, 2 million. They have some customers with tens of millions, and it handles it very well. So Ignite is our preferred AEC cloud file solution. It works really well with AutoCAD, Revit, Bluebeam, kind of the core applications.
Of the app stack.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we probably have people watching and listening probably already moved to the cloud and are probably in SharePoint and are facing some of these weird bottlenecks. Is that something we can help with, going from SharePoint to Ignite? Is that something we're familiar with?
Absolutely. There's migration tools that make the migration very easy. We've done it many times for many customers. We make it as smooth as possible because we can preload all their data, cut over day, we can pre-map everybody, and pretty much they'll start working on the new system right away.
Okay. And is Ignite better tuned to like version control, kind of a single source of truth issues? I've seen some problems with clients we work with. in SharePoint and kind of managing a single source of truth and version control.
Yeah, it handles the syncing much better than SharePoint does, because a lot of times in SharePoint, you'll make a change on your computer, it never makes it up to the cloud, and then I'll make a change on my computer, and now we have two files, one's, file-Avi and one's file-Baiju. So Ignite handles that much more smoothly than SharePoint, because the syncing is almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
And then also, with SharePoint, it like I said before, it doesn't handle a lot of files really well. And AEC companies have a lot of files because you'll have many versions of the files, and also, you'll have all the supporting documents, the submittals, the construction documents, the specs. So the file count is the one thing it handles very well. The last thing, sorry to keep going on. A lot of times, what we've seen when you can't without a cloud file server is people are emailing files. So now you were talking about single source of truth, you have this email of a PDF that maybe it's not the latest PDF and somebody starts working from it, but with Ignite, you send a link to the location of the PDF. It's always updating, so you always have the latest and greatest.
And the link, you can control security on that link, so it's not out there forever.
Correct.
You can have it expire, is that right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot to Ignite and cloud file servers. What I'll say is we close this kind of section on massive project files, slow LAN connection, slow WAN connection. If you have an on-prem server and you want to look to move to the cloud, please reach out to us. This is something we've done many times. We're experts at this. We can make this seamless and painless. If you move to the cloud and you are in SharePoint, again, nothing against SharePoint. It's great. We use it in different environments for different kind of businesses. Next, we're going to talk about license management.